Good morning. It's Tuesday morning of Passion Week. Yesterday we began a series of teachings for Passion Week, and we hope you can join us every day because I believe every day God has got something significant and specific for us on those days. We'll culminate it all the way through Saturday. We'll do these teachings, and then Sunday morning we'll be preaching a message, and we'll have that recorded for you if you're not a member of Grace, and you'll be able to see it. But let's go to Luke chapter 20, and let's look at verse 22. I want you to see a couple of things. That happened during the Passion Week, and these are very significant and very important. In verse 22 of Luke chapter 20, he's being questioned, and they're trying to trick him, you see. And they say, is it lawful for us to give tribute to Caesar? In other words, to pay taxes to Caesar, or not? But he perceived their craftiness, and he said to them, show me a denarius, or show me a coin. Now, whose likeness and inscription does it have? And they said, it's Caesar's. And he said to him, then render to Caesar what is Caesar's, and render to God the things that are God's. And so in verse 26 it says, and they were not able in the presence of the people to catch him in what he said, but marveled at the answer, and they became silent. So here's a couple of things I want you to see today out of this. The enemy's always trying to catch you. And somebody will ask you a question like, how can a loving God send people to hell? Or they'll just ask you things that will try to put you in a circle, and run you around, and maybe ask you a question about Noah, or who was Cain's wife, and all these kind of things that will get you away from telling the gospel. Some things are up for discussion, and that's all they are, is up for discussion. But some things are very important. What they were trying to do was stop him, to make him say something that they could say, aha, and then focus on that thing. Don't let people trap you like that. Hey, you know what to do if you don't know what to say? Don't say anything. Keep your mouth shut. If you don't have the answer, say, well, I don't know. I don't have the answer. And you may not ever have the answer that they want to hear. See, because it's not about the answer you give. It's about what they're trying to do to you. So that's number one. But the other thing, the real important thing I want you to see is give to Caesar. In other words, give to the authority, give to the world, give to those things because we live in this world. Give them their due and give God his due. And many, many, many people have a problem, including me. We have a problem balancing that out. We all have to live. We all have to work. We all have to make a living. But we all want to do a work for the Lord. And I've been in full-time ministry for 10 years now, completed. For the last 10 years I've been in full-time ministry. Before that I was part-time, working a job and doing ministry. And I always had to balance that out. Always had to balance out the time that I spent with my family, because see, that's important too. The time I spent with my friends, the time I spent doing the things that I wanted to do versus the time that I spent doing the things that I know God had called me to do. And every person does that. So you can divide that out. What's owed, what is required of your job, what is required, you give it. And listen, I believe that with all my heart. I worked 60 hours a week. I would always go in early and leave late on the last job that I worked, and I was doing ministry almost full time. I'm telling you. Somebody said, well, what do you do now? I said, well, I'm doing the same thing that I did before. I just do ministry. And I found a way to do it, but you got to balance it out. You have to balance it out. And so that's what I'm going to tell you today. You can figure this out. Don't let it overwhelm you. And don't let it weigh you down. You give what you need to give, and you give the right thing. He was saying what you owe to Caesar, well, you give it. You don't cut corners. You don't say, well, I don't have to do that. You know, it's wrong. No, you don't do that. You give what needs to be given. And then, you know, as a man, as I'm responsible to be a good husband. I'm responsible to be a good father and a good grandfather. I'm responsible to be a good son to my mom. I'm responsible to all those things. And so many times those can weigh you down. But I want to take this scripture and I want to take you back to Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. He said, put God first. You put him first, and then he will tell you how to allocate your time and your talent and your treasure to all the things that are required of you. In this case, it's give to Caesar what's Caesar's, and give to God what is God's. And if you'll do that, you can find ways to do that. And if you'll do that, if you'll put him first, he'll show you. And you won't leave anything slacking. You won't leave your job slacking. You won't leave your family slacking. You won't leave your responsibilities in this world that you have slacking by putting God first. But remember, don't give everything to those things. You always have got to give God what belongs to God. I hope that helps you today, because we live in a very stressful world. I know what it is, and listen, I still know what it is. You know, as a husband, as a father, as a brother, as a sister, as a caretaker. But you got to put God first. And listen, if you put him first, it makes everything. It takes a weight off your shoulder. It will. I promise you it will. That doesn't mean you're neglecting anything. God will make a way, and God will show you how to do that. Okay? Well, today's Tuesday. I hope to see you Wednesday, and we'll discuss another day of Passion Week. And let God speak to our hearts. God bless you.